Hi guys, welcome to another blog, or should I say vlog. I am Tanisha Boyd, aka the Lesson Plan Queen, aka Miss Sassy Teacher, and I'm here today to talk to you about engagement. That is right. So let's just kind of hit what engagement is not. Okay, a lot of teachers are like, I'm not getting ready to entertain these kids all day. Engagement is not entertainment. It is not entertainment. Nobody's asking you to do a song and a dance. You don't have to dress up in a costume. Engagement means that students are involved in and participating in the learning. That's all it means. And that doesn't mean that they're sitting there and just raising their hand and answering questions or that they're looking at you. Involved in means that there's some hands on learning, some kinesthetic. I know that we all know about that. You want to obviously give them the visual, you want them to get that audio, but you want to make sure also that there's some kinesthetic learning, some hands on, some movement. Okay. And if you're thinking, well, that's a lot, Miss Sassy Teacher, we got digital classrooms going on. We have some virtual going on. I got you covered. So, boom, check it. Look, I've got three ideas for you today that are going to help you with that. And in a sense, because everybody's kind of restricted, even though they can't necessarily get up, these are going to be some engaging things. So, engagement idea number one, digital stations. If you are a station lover like I am, um, this is going to be a game changer. There's so much in it that I'm not going to go into it all, but listen, digital stations will make your life easier. You can address all of the components of your ELA lesson in a digital station. You can do some of it together, which is that key ideas and details, that vocabulary, and then you can have them working deeper into the text, looking for tone and character analysis, author's purpose. You can decide how deep you want to go. You create that into stations. So if you have an LMS, if you're using a learning management system like Canvas or Schoology, you can definitely do it in there. You can just create the digital stations, or you can take a Google Doc and you can create um, the spaces that you want the kids to go into. So you might make a link where it leads them to a document where they're doing tone. Maybe they have to pull pictures and write a little text on that. You can create it in Canvas and link it in there. You can do that. Or you can just use your learning management system platform. So that totally works. Digital stations are killer. And if you just take the time to set them up, guess what you never have to do? You never have to make them again. Okay. So if you have a classroom though where kids are able to maneuver around, maybe you just have a station where they come to do their final piece, like writing a compare and contrast of the characters or um, the plot, or um, writing that character analysis piece on the character. I think I already said that, but you want them to be able to give you something or even a summary. Okay. If it's an informational text piece, then you might have them talk about that central idea and that evidence at the end after they've done a little digging. Okay. Another idea is paper slides. If you don't know what a paper slide is, I'm here to make your life so much easier. This does not take a lot of effort on your part, but it's going to be all engagement for the kids. So you can decide if you want your students to work in groups, in pairs, or independently. And basically, how it works is whatever it is that you're working on. So let's just say, since we're all ELA teachers here, let's just say that you want your students to do a piece on theme. You want them to tell what the theme is of the story and you want them to give you three examples. Okay. Paper slides would be where they literally would take some paper, okay, whether it's notebook paper or copy paper, and they draw it out, okay, and they can be as creative as they want to. So they can say that the theme of this story is, and they put it on there. And then they can draw out the scenes, use emojis, they can use a cycle map or what have you, and they get to draw it out. Okay. Or for some kids, they just like to do the words, but let them use markers, crayons, whatever works for them. Some kids, I've had kids do digital paper slides where they literally create the images in Google Draw and then they put it together in a document and submit it to me. But if they are doing it on paper, you tell them what you want, you tell them how many papers they need to have. So if it's 4 to 5 examples or 3 to 4 pieces of textual evidence, then they would create that And then you allow them to take out their phone or their tablet or what have you, and they will do a voiceover. So they're not going to do the full writing on the papers because we're trying to get past that. You want students to start practicing that speaking and listening skill. So this is a great time for you to say, hey, I want you to give me the theme, give me 3 examples from the text, and they do a voiceover. So they don't have to put their face on the camera. They literally just angle their phone over the papers, and one student, if they're working in pairs or groups, can move the slides out the way as they talk about what they're doing. They can save that file, they can upload it into their LMS, and then you can see it, okay? Or you can have them submit it to a particular file or what have you. So there's engagement idea number 2. So they're totally not talking to you. They're trying to figure out, how can I present this to you and maybe have it shown, because guess what? They get to pull out that phone. So that's going to be another level of engagement, and you just set the parameters for that, okay? And the last one, digital choice boards. Now, digital choice boards can be as simple or as complex as you want them to be. For many of us, it's the beginning of the school year, and I would say if it's the beginning of the school year, you start with maybe 6 boxes, and I would do 2, 2, and 2, um, or you can do 3, 3, and 3. Okay. Um, Doing 9 is, a great place to start if you feel confident and you want to create that 9 and then tell them they have to pick 2 and then pick 3. But essentially, if you don't know how it works, it works the same as choice boards. What should be happening is that there are 3 activities that are simple, like they're that basic information, and then you have that next level that is going to have them dig a little deeper, but they're not grinding into the text. And then you're going to have that higher order thinking as that third level. And you have students pick one from each section, and that center one, always make the center one easy so that they know, like, okay, this one for sure, I know I can do this one. So if they go diagonal, they've got one easy one. If they go straight across, up, down, what have you. Okay. So they pick an activity from there and you link it into a document. Okay. Again, you can use Canva for this, where you create links and the students go to certain places. So for example, here's one. I taught 8th grade ELA, and I had my students do the Telltale Heart. And once we got to the end of it, they had to determine whether he was a calculated killer or he was actually insane. And we did it as a crime scene. They were FBI agents and they had to do a criminal profile. I had my students go through this whole scavenger hunt, so to speak, of looking at what are the characteristics of a mentally insane person and a psychopath. So I know you're thinking, well, they're the same thing. Well, no, psychopaths are very calculated in what they do. They understand what they're doing. They just make a choice not to do the right thing. So that's a conversation for another day. But what my students did when they clicked on the link, okay, they gathered their information to make the criminal profile. And then as FBI agents, so I didn't have to sit and read all of that stuff, they gave me a quick bullet list and they went into Flipgrid. And if you don't use Flipgrid, oh my God, get into it, honey. They went into Flipgrid and they presented as a FBI agent and gave me this profile, just like Criminal Minds. And so many of them had watched that, and so they had to give me a criminal profile of this guy, telling me whether he was a calculated killer or if he was insane. And then they had to cite 3 pieces of evidence from the text to support that and then explain it to me. They had a ball. I loved watching their videos. And even though I had to watch 22 videos, it was much better than reading 22 essays. And that was great. And it was inside of one of the digital choice boards where everybody had to do that one, but then I gave them other things that they could choose to do. And every time they clicked on a link, it took them where they were supposed to go, and it had instructions. And guess what? It was all digital. They got to choose what they wanted. As we went through the unit, some of them did the easy things as we went, so they didn't have to wait until the end. And you're going to create these activities for them anyway. You already have the rubrics for them. You don't have to wait until the end and say, hey, okay, we're finished with this. Now let's do this. you can set the digital choice board up. So as you are going through the lesson, when the students feel comfortable enough to be able to attack an assignment, they go in there and see what it's about and they say, hey, I can do this one right now. And if there's one that's a little harder, they may wait until they get closer to the end because they need that extra information and they may need that extra support from you. So those are the three ideas. I hope that you will go and try them. If school hasn't started for you yet, it's a great time to start planning because guess what? Lesson planning requires engagement. Learning requires engagement, and it all starts with you. It starts with a plan. Everybody plans. How strong and sustainable the plan is always up to the planner. So again, you want to try digital stations, you want to try paper slides and digital choice boards. And if you want me to do a blog or a vlog on either one of those, any of those, just leave it in the comments and say, hey, do a whole blog. I do plan on doing a video. I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel, so look out for that. And before I leave you guys, I want to say that I have a freebie coming up, and you're going to have to DM me for it because I'm not going to give it to everybody, but it's going to be a 3-video series, mini videos about rigorous lesson planning, engagement activities, and that reflection piece. And it's going to help you be so much more confident in what you're doing and not become overwhelmed with trying to get the students to be engaged. This COVID thing is not going away anytime soon, and we're going to need all of the help we can get. And if it's free, that's even better. So I hope that you enjoyed the session. I hope that I gave you some valuable information. Please share in the comments if there's something that for feedback or something that you want to see. I read everything that everybody sends me. I'm excited about this school year. I'm praying for all of you guys. I want you to be strong. I want you guys to have a great year. Bye.